I never imagined that a trip back to my family's countryside farm would change my life. After years of city life, endless work stress, and personal struggles, I felt drained and hopeless. My name is Emily Parker, and at 32, I realized I had been running from myself more than from anything else. When my sister, Claire, invited me to spend the summer at her farm in Iowa, I hesitated. Farms weren't my thing. I was a city girl through and through, but the thought of a quiet escape and seeing my family again was comforting. I arrived at the farm on a warm June afternoon. The sunlight stretched across golden fields, and the fresh smell of grass and earth hit me like a balm. Claire greeted me with her usual warm smile, holding her little son, Ethan, in her arms. Ethan was just over a year old, with bright blue eyes and a tiny tuft of brown hair. Even from a distance, his joyful laughter carried across the farmyard, filling the air with something pure and innocent. From the first moment, Ethan was curious about everything. He crawled across the grass toward me with his little hands outstretched, giggling. I felt an instant warmth in my chest I hadn't realized I'd been missing. Over the next few days, I slowly adjusted to the farm life, the smell of fresh hay, the early morning rooster calls, and the rhythmic chores that gave structure to the day. Claire's farm was a beautiful, bustling place. She had a small vegetable garden, a few cows, chickens, and a barn that smelled of hay and livestock. I had never really interacted with animals before, but something about their calm, steady presence was soothing. Watching Ethan reach out to pet a gentle calf, his laughter ringing out, made me feel connected to life in a way I hadn't in years. One morning, I woke up to Ethan giggling outside the farmhouse window. He had somehow found his way into the yard and was chasing after a chicken with his tiny legs. I couldn't help but laugh, feeling a lightness I hadn't experienced in a long time. I joined him, holding his small hands as he toddled across the soft grass. That moment, pure, simple, and unfiltered, was when I realized how much joy I had been missing in the hustle of city life. Days turned into weeks, and the farm became my sanctuary. I started helping with the chores, feeding the chickens, milking the cows, and even planting a small patch of vegetables. At first, my hands were clumsy, and I made mistakes, but Ethan's laughter and encouragement made every moment feel worthwhile. He would clap and babble as I carried a basket of eggs, and somehow, his tiny presence gave me strength I didn't know I had. One evening, as the sun set behind the rolling hills, I sat on the porch holding Ethan in my arms. Claire joined us, and we watched the sky turn shades of pink and orange. I felt a peace I hadn't known in years, and I realized something important: hope doesn't always come in big, dramatic moments. Sometimes, it comes in small, quiet bursts, the laughter of a child, the warmth of the sun, the rhythm of life on a farm. Over the course of the summer, I found myself smiling more, sleeping better, and even dreaming again. Ethan's curiosity and wonder reminded me of the simple joys of life that I had long forgotten. I learned to appreciate the slow pace, the small victories, and the unconditional love that surrounded me. By the end of the summer, I felt transformed. I returned to the city with a renewed sense of purpose, carrying with me the lessons I had learned on the farm. I promised myself to nurture joy, to seek hope in small moments, and to never underestimate the power of family. And I knew, deep down, that a little boy named Ethan had helped me find my way back to happiness, one giggle at a time. That summer on the farm taught me that life is full of unexpected blessings. Even when everything seems bleak, there is always hope, sometimes wrapped in the tiny hands of a child, sometimes in the quiet rhythm of a farm, and sometimes in the simple act of letting yourself be present. Ethan reminded me that happiness is not something we chase, it's something we allow ourselves to feel, in the moment, every day.